I was able, because I told them my testimony, I was able to tell them about reading the Book of Mormon in my past and hearing the voice of the Lord quite clearly tell me to stop reading the Book of Mormon, telling me that the LDS church was a heretical church, and that the Lord led me away from that. And when I was able to speak to my experience of God around those things, it was really disarming, because I wasn't coming at them pointing fingers saying like, you're following a false prophet. Instead, I was saying, this is my relationship with God as it relates to truth. Not exactly my story to tell, but I'll tell it. There were a couple women on our trip that felt like God was calling them to walk into this crystal shop. It's like legitimately a New Age store right in downtown Salt Lake. And there was only one person in there. It was the clerk. But the woman, discerning, said, I don't think the clerk is the person God sent us for, but let's just look around. Shortly, a woman walks in. They discern this is the person we're supposed to speak to. The woman is trying to check out with these, I don't know, New Age paraphernalia. I don't know if it's crystals or books or whatever. And her payment method, the Apple Pay that she's trying to pay with, won't work. And she has to leave all the stuff that she was going to buy on the counter. And the people from our team strike up a conversation with her. Hey, has anyone ever told you that the Lord loves you? And this lady says, that's crazy that you asked me this, because 2 weeks ago, I was in a shopping mall in Las Vegas, and these two Christian girls came up to me and asked me that exact same question. And now here you are, two Christian girls, asking me this question while I'm shopping. That kind of spiritual assignment, it was like, oh, okay, well, clearly the Lord is already doing something in this woman's life, and there's an appointment that he wanted us to set up, but we were gonna miss it if we weren't discerning in the Lord. And long story short, they had a beautiful conversation with this woman and ended up leading her all the way through a prayer of salvation and plugging her into a church in her hometown, which is Vegas, in a matter of maybe like 25 minutes. And that threw a lot of wind in our sails as a team. When I don't want to say that like it's really easy to always discern the voice of the Lord, and like there aren't like sloppy misses too. So whether we were hearing the Lord's voice correctly or not, I felt like we saw a lot of fruit the back half of the trip, because that was our aim. Hear the voice of the Lord. God, where are you moving? Who are you already speaking to? And how can I speak your voice to them one step further?
So speaking kind of personally on that, has it changed, because you're like super strong apologetics, you know the LDS community really well. Obviously, you know how prevalent it is here. Have you like brought back some of that Holy Spirit led, we'll say, evangelism into like your heart, even in ministering here?
Yes, I'm trying to learn how to do that well, how to speak with apologetic knowledge, but in a way that the knowledge doesn't become the focus of the conversation, because the heart, I've learned, should always be the focus of the conversation. Not to speak in a demeaning way, but LDS doctrine is really easy to debunk. It just has so many holes all over the place. The character of Joseph Smith, he's really easy to point out as a fraud, but the more you do that to a Latter-day Saint, the more you make them defensive and harden the heart. So someone could learn a little bit about the LDS community and then feel like, oh, I can come out guns a-blazing, this should be easy. And then they find they just harden a person's heart a little more to the truth of who Jesus is and the real gospel. That's been my story trying to witness to the Latter-day Saint community. So it became very important for us to articulate clearly, we're here for people, for their hearts, trying to minister unto them in a way that the Lord wants to strike. Yeah, I'm thinking like the Lord wants to speak to the young girl that felt neglected as a child by her father, who was overworking and had this church call on top of his work, and wasn't present for her. Maybe some LDS apologetics are going to help in knocking down some roadblocks for her, but I need to speak to that heart that has a lot of need. And when the Lord gives me perspective on that heart, and I can be like a conduit for the Lord's love to pour onto that young heart, the apologetic stuff isn't actually necessary. It can be really helpful, especially for a really cerebral mind. But it almost never is the thing that seems to do the primary witness, as I've discovered it. So consistently, I need to be reminded, Lord, don't let my knowledge puff me up, like Paul says in 1 Corinthians, like knowledge puffs up, but the love of God is what builds up. Help me be here for people, not to dismantle this religious authority of Mormonism, which I've come to really hate, but help me love this young man who was raised in the Latter-day Saint community and just hasn't ever known better than to be oppressed by this legalistic religious structure. That's a lesson I'm still trying to learn, candidly. And Salt Lake City was really good for me in trying to dismantle some of that. I would say the most encouraging interaction I had while there was walking around Temple Square, which, if you don't know, it's like the nexus of the Salt Lake City Mormon world. It's where the Salt Lake City Temple is, the tabernacle, where there's all these choir and music performances. They also have their conference center where the religious authorities of the LDS Church speak to the whole global LDS Church twice a year over this thing called General Conference. So anyway, it's like headquarters, Latter-day Saint headquarters. I was walking around there, and they have these sister missionaries that are stationed all over Temple Square. Typically they're from different countries and they speak different languages, so that if tourists are touring Temple Square, they can find someone who's from their country and speaks their language. So it's all kind of like a clever marketing gimmick, it feels like, from the LDS Church. But I met these two young women. One was from Bolivia and the other was from Australia. We have a lovely hour-long conversation where, instead of getting into apologetics, I'm just sharing my testimony and asking their testimony. And we prayed together. I was able, because I told them my testimony, I was able to tell them about reading the Book of Mormon in my past and hearing the voice of the Lord quite clearly tell me to stop reading the Book of Mormon, telling me that the LDS Church was a heretical church, and that the Lord led me away from that. And when I was able to speak to my experience of God around those things, it was really disarming, because I wasn't coming at them pointing fingers saying, like, you're following a false prophet. Instead, I was saying, this is my relationship with God as it relates to truth. And I'm just going to lay that out for you, and you can do with it what you want. I'm going to let the Lord breathe on whatever he wants to. And let me honor and encourage the beauty of God that I see in you. At one point, they expressed to me that they'd never met Christians that were so kind and warm, which really hurt my heart, because I thought there's probably a lot of Christians who come in here swinging with a lot of apologetics. And I started to get emotional with them and apologized on behalf of those Christians who have been maybe argumentative or demeaning, not representing the heart of Christ truthfully. Ephesians 4 is really clear when it says that we're to speak truth in love. And if we speak truth devoid of that love, then we're not really doing truth or love. And I could see my heart being so candid and honest with them. I wasn't really coming with an agenda other than just to love. But my heart was hitting their hearts. And I felt like they were rattled in a way that I haven't seen many Latter-day Saints rattled. And again, it was that Spirit-led ministry. And I tried my best to restrain all of my apologetic knowledge so that my heart could just speak, so that the Lord could just speak through me. And that was another one of those interactions where I walked away weeping. And I was trying to figure out why I was crying so hard. And it just felt really clear that God offered his heart to them, to me, for just a moment. And I was able to feel how burdened he is to see their religious oppression. And it broke me. And I still think about those two young women and pray for them. The one, I know her mission is over and she's back in Australia. Sister Mahe was her name. And anyway, still praying for them because it was like such a precious pearl from God that he offers a piece of his heart for someone else. And I don't want to see the Mormonism in them. I want to see them and offer what the Lord sees in them and allow the Lord's heart to speak for itself. And I think if a Latter-day Saint or anyone who doesn't know Jesus can experience the heart of God through a Christian, that's what will open the door for all of the apologetic knowledge to do its wonders. That was my experience, but I'm still feel like a beginner in this.